Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending from where you are coming from. My name is Rashid Oguniro, and this is another session on Power BI. So, if you have been part of this journey when we started 10 weeks ago, this is week 10, you will have understand that it has been stagey. We have been moving from stages from one stage to another. And so today we have an amazing presenter that will be helping us solve a word problem with Power BI. And our facilitator today named Paul Nnakwe. Um, um, this Paul Nnakwe is a data analyst, and he has various of experience, and he has deep interest in social media analytics, and he has been doing well for himself. So today he's going to give us he's going to take us through a topic named solving a word problem with Power BI. And so our viewers, if you are online and you have any question, try and drop it on our chat so that we can collate everything together to enable our presenter address. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome our presenter today, Paul Nnakwe. Let me see our emojis in the chat room. If you know you are happy to attend this section, just say, you can just say, I just signify, just do something on the chat room. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Paul, you have the floor. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Kindly confirm if you can hear me clearly, Mr. Rashid.
I can hear you loud and clear, Mr. Paul.
Yeah. So, welcome, everyone. My name is Paul Nnakwe. I'm a data analyst, and today we are going to be talking about solving a world problem with Power BI. So, this is going to be a theoretical and a practical class at the same time. So, please, if you have any questions, you can use the comment section and I'll be happy to answer them. So let's just go straight in. We don't have much time. Okay, so who am I? Yeah, I'm a data analyst with the Future of Work Africa, and I also work as a social media research analyst in a digital lab. So here are partners for this training: Microsoft Enterprise DNA and Jari Computer Solutions and special shout out to them. And let's dive right in. What is a world problem? A world problem is an issue of global concern. Now we've seen many issues that happens across the globe that affects everyone, whether positively or negatively. But today we'll be talking about issues that are problems. So we'll be focused on problems today. So recently we've seen how the pandemic really affected the world in terms of economics, in terms of working, in terms of gathering and the likes. Everybody all over the world was affected. So that's like a global issue, right? So we have issues like hunger, we have issues like poverty, child trafficking, immigration. So these are global issues that affects the whole world. Now, in another sense, your local issues might affect the global populace. Let's say unemployment. Now, the unemployment issue in Nigeria, for example, is I can't remember the exact amount and the exact rates, unemployment rates, but I know it's a troubling rate, right? Now you look at how is it affecting the world. It's just Nigeria, right? So when you have unemployment, you might have other cause effects like poverty, increase in crime rates. You might have issues like immigration. You understand? And at the end of the day, this kind of it has spillover effects, which can escalate to become a global concern, right? So, for example, let's take the war in Ukraine, right? seeing as it is also affecting the whole world because of Ukraine is one of the highest exporters of grain, I think. Yeah, and it's affecting the whole world. So let's move how to approach a problem, how to approach solving a problem with data analysis. So I'm going to just take you through the basic steps of solving a problem with data analysis. So number one, identification. You have to identify the problem you want to solve. What exactly is the problem I'm actually solving, right? Um, if you've identified hunger, you might start looking at, okay, what are the causes of hunger? What is the root cause? What are the effects? What are the implications of hunger in the world? How does it escalate? What causes it? So you have to actually know the problem you're trying to solve. That's like the first step in problem solving, identifying the problem. So you have to be clear about that. The next one is domain knowledge. So now, for example, you're talking about hunger. You are dealing with like a topic on hunger. You have to understand how the food supply chain works, how farmers, the business of farming, you understand how farmers, the issues that affect farmers, and this will introduce you to like new terminologies you have to know about. You have to also know about inflation, how food prices also cause hunger. So there are some terminologies you have to be used to because those are the things you are going to use in your analysis. Which other thing again? Let's say you want to solve. Um, let's look at another example like terrorism. Like you are dealing with a terrorism case study, right? You want to look at arms and types of arms that are being smuggled. So those are like metrics, those are terminologies you have to like know about. And this requires you to do lots of research, do lots of studies. It will show that you have actually put in the work to actually understand this. And that is basically what domain knowledge is about. So when solving a world problem, you have to be familiar with the terminologies, the KPIs, the sector lingo, like the languages used in the sector and the likes. Next, now we're going to develop our hypothesis and objectives. So, what at the end of this analysis, at the end of this project, what do I want to communicate? What do I want to achieve? You have to have those set goals down. Am I going to build a dashboard that just shows my whoever I'm reporting to, whoever I'm providing these solutions with? Am I going to provide them with a dashboard? Am I going to split it and do like a report? What are the metrics that they'll be interested in seeing? Then look at how you might also test some theories and say, okay, so we use hunger, for example, and you might look that, okay, does inflation affect hunger? So that means you know that you have to go and get inflation data also, right? Let me see. So you know that you have to get like, the kind of data you have to get when you are developing your hypothesis, when you are filling out your objectives. So this also helps. So the next step should take you to the analysis itself, data collection and analysis. So in our case study that we are using today, I had to go and look for the data, right? I had to research and find like a credible data source. So the same thing goes for every project you're going to work on. You don't just go and pick up a random data set and say, okay, you want to attempt to solve. You're actually solving a real world problem. These are issues that affect people on a daily. So you can't use like a dummy data set, right? Which other thing again? So you have to know where you have to get your data from. Sometimes it might be a primary source of data, secondary source of data, but you have to get the right data sets to address the issue. And sometimes you might end up, it might cost you some resources because Sometimes you might want to get this data set and maybe it's behind a paywall, or you have to pay to get access to the data or the likes. You can also include that in your budget while working on a project. So after collecting the data, then you proceed to analysis. So in your analysis, you do you do your data cleaning and transformation. You begin building your reports, exploratory data analysis. You begin to test your theories using correlation and the likes. So that's where you actually sit down, whether you are using Python, whether you're using SQL, whether you're using Power BI, any other tool you are using. This is the part where everything comes together. And sometimes you might not just stick to one tool, you might use multiple tools to achieve your objectives you've already written out. So after your analysis, you now have to come up with your findings. This part is very important. You have to communicate like your findings, your solutions, or your recommendations. And this is one skill that every data professional needs to know: communication. Because at the end of the day, when you've done a fantastic project, how best do you communicate your findings to your stakeholders? Because at the end of the day, you want them to take action regarding a particular issue. So you must also learn how to present your findings. You must learn how to design, like how to make your designs great and appealing. Because at the end of the day, you are not just showing them raw data. It might be in the form of visualizations, right? It might be in the form of a dashboard. You have to make it visually appealing, and you have to make sure that those issues that you raised, those issues that the problem raised, and you've found the solution, or you are recommending the solution, they are well highlighted, so that once they just see it, yes, they can easily take in your insights. So I think that is the end of this slide, right? So I want to go into Power BI and show you a project which I took time to work on for this. So like I said, we are looking at solving a global problem. So um, let's go to Power BI and let me show you my case study. So my case study for today is the monkeypox outbreak report. So you might be looking and you might say, how is monkeypox a global problem? Well, the monkeypox virus, like COVID-19 has shown us, is also a problem, right? If the spread is not contained and managed, it might end up like halting the global economy, just like the way COVID affected the entire globe, right? So this is something we want to look at. Okay, how can we address the problem using data? And today, I'm going to show you a demo and take you through the steps I used for this particular report. So once I got this report, once I got this topic, the monkeypox outbreak, I wanted to track the spread. I wanted to build a tracker that says, okay, let us see where this particular thing has happened. Now, you might say, okay, monkeypox is not popular yet, but the truth is, we don't have to wait. In fact, recently, the World Health Organization's Director General has declared it an issue of global concern. That means it's something everyone should be worried about, and everyone needs to put hands together to curtail the spread of this virus. And today, we are going to just present in terms of data, like we're going to analyze the data, provide solutions, and also recommendations. So first thing I had to do is I had to find, like, where do I get reliable data from? So my data source is from our World in Data. So they've proven to be very reliable. They source their data from Global Health. So we chose that particular data set to actually talk about this problem. And which other thing? Yes. So I'm importing my data via web, right? So basically, let me show us an example of how to import our data via web. So our word in data, monkeypox, yes. I want to show you guys my data source. Give it a moment, it's loading. Yes. So I go here to download and I click on the full data sets. So it takes me to the GitHub directly. So all I need to do is just to copy the link to this data set. This data set is being updated every day. So as new cases are happening, the data set is being updated. So that's the data source I used. So let me go to Power Query. So for my source, you can see, I don't know if you can see clearly, but it's showing that the source is from the same link I just extracted, right? Then we have our data. We are having the code for the countries. We are having the country name. We are having the dates each particular case was recorded, number of cases recorded, and number of deaths also. So we wanted to see the death rates, like are people really dying from monkeypox, and how is this spread, right? So these are important columns we need. So sometimes you might get some data set, and at the end of the day, remember what I said, your objectives, like it doesn't fulfill your objectives. That means you might have to go source for more data, right? And to be very honest, for a topic like this, like when you're solving a world problem, like you might not just deal with one source of data. You can use multiple data sources, but so far they are reliable. That's the most important thing. So far they are reliable, right? So basically there wasn't much to transform here. All I just did was I just inserted the month name. So because I was going to use it in the analysis, and I inserted the name of the day also. Okay, that's fine. So after that, I think I did a separate table that is showing the name of day, because I wanted it shortened. I needed the short form of the name of day. So I actually created a table for that. So let's go into introduction. So what I did here is I actually designed my entire report in Power BI. You can also do the same thing in your PowerPoint presentation, right? You can also do this. And now Power BI allows you to, PowerPoint allows you to like import your Power BI reports into your PowerPoint presentations. So first, I did an introduction about monkeypox, because at the end of the day, I'm communicating this to stakeholders. Some of them might not even like know what monkeypox is about or what the problem is. So I built these different pages, is a complete report, right? So we have the different pages that talks about the introduction, the analysis, the dashboards, recommendation, and the like. So I split them into various pages to make it easier for my audience to assimilate. So I introduced monkeypox. Is a rare virus that is caused by infection from the monkeypox virus. And this is not the first time we've had monkeypox, but there's a current outbreak in 2022. Previously, we've had cases linked to especially African countries, right, as far back as 1970, right? And previously, it is estimated that 1 to 10% of the global cases, between 1 to 10% of global cases of people that have had monkeypox actually died from it, right? So once I've known that, that is something to consider when building my reports. I want to see the current death rates, and I can use the previous death rates that has been established to do like a benchmark, something to watch out for, that okay, less than 10% of people that had monkeypox actually died from it, right? So let's measure what's the current outbreak and see if we are approaching those levels. So like I said, on July 23rd, that was last month, the World Health Organization DG like declared the monkeypox outbreak as a case for global concern, that people should be concerned. Countries all over the world should be concerned about it. The first case was recorded in May 6, and since then we've gotten lots of spread across various continents, right? So basically, we want to just track the spread of the monkeypox virus. We want to see the death rates, how many people are dying from it, the countries that were affected the most, and recommend our findings and solutions. So let me go into my analysis procedure. So first things first, I need to source my data. Like I said, I got my data from our World in Data, right? That's where, and you can get a whole lot of data sets, public health data sets from their GitHub repository. I declared my objectives. Okay, I wanted to explore the data and see what I find generally. I wanted to just see if there were patterns, anything. Then I also wanted to track spread. I also wanted to check the death rates. I wanted to see the countries that were worst hit by this monkeypox virus. Then I want to communicate these findings to my stakeholder. Let's say, for example, I've been hired by NCDC, which is Nigeria's disease control body, right, to check this thing. So this is the report I'm going to present to them, right? So the tools I used only Power BI directly. And let me show you what I built on the next page. So I built a dashboard, like an overview dashboard, to like check this monkeypox outbreak out. And here's what I found. So basically, I have my overview here, the total number of cases, right? Total number of cases across the whole world, total number of deaths, and the death rates. Your metrics are like important. That's like one of the, how will I put it? One of the most important things your stakeholders want to see. Let us see the big numbers, what is actually going on. Let us see the impact of this particular problem, right? So here we can see that we have close to 100,000 people since the outbreak that has been affected by the monkeypox virus. And out of those 96,000 people, we have 26 people who are dead from it, right? So I also did a calculation showing the death rates. So basically in our data sets, we have new cases. We have a column for new cases, per day. We have total cases, like cumulative cases for each country, right? So for my calculation for total cases, I just did a sum of the new cases for all the whole countries. So the new cases that were discovered each and every day since the first occurrence, which was logged here, yes, on May 6th, which was logged on May 6th. So every new case across various countries, I just want to sum all of them together and present it as the total number of cases we've had since the outbreak, right? Then total deaths too, same method I used. So I also calculated the death rates. For death rates, I created a custom, there's it, yes. I created a custom formula, DAX, that says divide the sum of the entire deaths divided by the sum of the entire cases. So that gives us our death rates. Now I'm showing the daily cases here by time. So for each day, we want to see how many people were infected, like reported cases of the monkeypox virus. And if we take a look out of this, we can see a pattern. Let me make this bigger. There seems to be like a pattern from this graph. And basically we are seeing rises and peaks. And I'm trying to wonder, why are we having this pattern? And I discovered that these drops were on weekends, right? The drops were weekends, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, and it occurs consistently through the entire time you are looking at. So I'll get back to that, just hold on. So next, I wanted to see the countries that were affected, like the top countries. And here I'm showing countries by cases. So here we can see that the United States is the most affected country with over 17,000 cases, right? Followed by Spain, Brazil, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, right? So these are countries where they've had most cases of the monkeypox outbreak. So here's a disclaimer. In our data sets, we have this category of countries that were just classified as world. That means the data is coming in, but is not specific to a country. So they just put it in the world category. So I excluded that from here, right? I excluded that. I just wanted to see countries that have been confirmed and their their monkeypox cases. And as you can see, United States tops the list. So here I'm showing a graph here below that is showing, the death rates, like just the deaths. How many people were dying from this on a daily basis? And we can see that the graph is canty. The highest deaths we've had in a day is 4. And very interestingly, when we go to our next slide, we are going to see more details about the death rates. So like I said, I wanted to show, since I discovered this pattern, right, in the daily cases by time, that rise and drop, I wanted to see how many cases were reported, new cases were reported in each particular day, right? So I had to do day by cases. And at the end of the day, we can see that weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all have high numbers compared to Saturday and Sunday. So this should arouse your interest. Like, why? That's the question. Once you've looked at it, you might start asking the questions why, and you can then make further findings about what you just discovered in your data set. So I added a dates slicer, right, to make it easier for my stakeholders to see, to be able to filter or slice the entire dashboard by time. Then I also added another slicer to like select a particular country. Select a particular country. So let's say, for example, we just want to see just Brazil. So it's loading. Yes. So we just have data for only Brazil, right? Then since this particular data is from the web and is being refreshed every day, right? I added a last refreshed card here to tell us when this data was last refreshed. And we can see that the data was last refreshed today by 11 a.m. this morning, right? So this is important also for them to know, okay, this was the last time the data was updated so that you can update whatever recommendations or findings. So I think I've explained that. Then I want to move to my next slide, which focused on the most affected countries by monkeypox, right? So here we have suspected cases, the increase or decrease over previous month, the death rates. And so here, this particular page just focused on countries that are mostly affected by this monkeypox, right? So here we have our numbers, the general number of cases that we have. We have then the cases for this month compared to last month. So I had to use a DAX formula to show that, right? I feel it's useful to see that, okay, last month we had just 34,000 people, 34,000 cases of monkeypox. And this month we have 49,000 cases. You can see that it's still increasing, right? So what then do we do? We can see that this thing is not slowing down. Like compared to last month, what is it that we need to do about this particular issue? Then total death, right? So here is showing negative, like red, um, indicating to us that we have fewer deaths this month compared to last month, right? Which is like a good thing. For the previous month, we had 16,000 people, 16 people that actually died from monkeypox compared to this month. And like we calculated earlier, we have our death rates. So here is showing countries that are affected mostly, and we saw that in the previous slide. United States, we saw United States, Brazil, Spain. I think we have Spain, Peru, and one other country, France. We also have Germany, right? So here I just showed the cumulative for this particular visualization here, the different countries and the cumulative. You can see the United States, they have a higher number of cases cumulatively than the rest. So this is important, like I'm actually like sending this message to my audience, to the stakeholders, that okay, cumulatively, the US is having it worse. And you can see the growth, like the steep climb, right? Unlike the other countries. So here I added a table with the deaths, number of cases, number of deaths, percentage of cases like global cases, percentage of death, and top countries like we saw the other place. Then number of deaths, right? We have world here. Like I said, world is the category, like is unspecified. The country is not specified, but those cases are recorded, right? Hold on, let me see if there are any questions. Okay, No questions yet. Please, in case you have questions, just drop them in the comment section. Sorry, give me a minute. Give me a minute. I want to share my screen again. Um, Hello, Mr. Rashid, are you there?
Oh,
Sorry, your
sorry.
mic. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I didn't know I was muted. Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. I'm watching.
Okay. So I just want to share my screen again. Just bear with
Okay,
me.
that's fine. That's fine. Well done. Good
Yes.
job.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm s- I'm still
Uh,
trying to process all those your processes in my head.
so great. Kindly let me know if you can see my Power BI screen.
Yeah, your Power BI is up.
Oh, great. Great. So I wanted to see, like I said, remember in the previous dashboard, right? We had a total of 26 people that have died since this outbreak happened. And this category, since it's not specified, is the world, entirely in the world. That is not like specific to any country, right? So, but if you check the highest cases apart from world, the highest number of deaths, you can see that Nigeria, you know, has gotten Nigeria has got like 4 deaths, right? So let's see how many cases did Nigeria have compared to deaths. Can we see that here? Okay, yes, we can see that in the table here. Nigeria has just had 157 cases, and 4 people out of um, those cases have died. Right. So the question is, why are they having this like high number of deaths? Because according to um, the World Health, like um, monkeypox is can be managed when you detect the cases early, right? And you go into isolation and treatment, right? But here we're having high number of deaths, 4. So you can clearly see that maybe it's a problem compared to the number of cases they have. Even the US, let's see the US. The US that had 17,000, over 17,000 cases, they've not recorded any death, right? So what are they doing right that Nigeria might not be doing right? So here is where you can bring your recommendations and your conclusions. So this is the tracker that I have built to show the spread of the monkeypox, to show the death rates, whether the cases are slowing down, and other insights that I can find. And I want to go to my recommendations. So after you've done your analysis, you've done everything you're supposed to do, you've gotten your findings, you now have to present your recommendations to your stakeholders, right? Um, yes, so from my analysis, right, here are some recommendations that I put down based on what I saw discovered from the data, right? So the first one says from the exploratory data analysis, we discovered the new cases dropped on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and this could be as a result of so many factors. So let's go back to um, the dashboard. So, like I said, we can see the cases by day: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But look at the drop for Saturday and Sunday, right? Now, the way this data set is collected, new cases are added every single day, right, as they happen. So, why is Saturday and Sunday? Why are they like outliers? Why are they different? So you might come up with like theories, right? And general recommendations that you might come up with a theory that, okay, I think these people, the disease control for those various countries, because I believe that this data is sourced from like the disease controls of different countries all over the world, right? So Nigeria's NCDC supplies, the World Health with monkeypox information for the whole of the day. They have a reporting mechanism and they submit their cases at the end of each day. So I believe it should be the same thing with the United States, CDC of the United States. So different countries and their various Center for Disease Control submits the data. So are we saying now that when it comes to weekends, that they don't, people don't act like they don't have new cases, or they don't do testing? Because at the end of the day, you have to test to confirm that this is monkeypox, right? Sometimes people might be having symptoms and they be like, okay, I just want to go and do a test, right? So these are confirmed cases that we're looking at. So are we saying that people don't go to have themselves checked on weekends, or the Center for Disease Control don't open on weekends? We know kind of some kind of businesses or some kind of organizations will tell you, oh, sorry, we don't work weekends, right? So are this the cause of the drop in new cases that we see over the weekend? Or you could say that since the weekend, people get to travel a lot during weekend, people spend time with other people, general activities during weekend. Are this where people come together, meet, and maybe the case of infection? Because one way you can easily get monkeypox is if you're in close contact with somebody that already has this particular virus. So are we saying that the weekend is when they get to meet each other, and maybe by Monday, people are already reporting these cases, like they've gone for checks and they're reporting these cases? So from my recommendation, we are saying we should make testing available like more on weekends, like generally across the world, because we did not just see this for just only one country. We observed it generally. So we should make sure that testing is available on weekends, and also data collection is also accurate on weekends. That okay, by weekends, cases are being recorded. Like people are on standby to record and submit new cases, right? Then second recommendation is from the analysis, we discovered that the United States has the highest cases of monkeypox, right? So solutions that we are presenting is we're telling them it's important for them to track these cases and also isolate people that might have been infected. Or once they get a new case, right, they also have to isolate people that have come in contact with the infected person, right? This is very important to be able to track and curb the spread of this virus, because we don't want this escalating into something like COVID, right? I believe we've learned our lessons from COVID if people had started earlier. But now that this monkeypox outbreak is just slowly starting to grow, we can curb the spread. Then for Nigeria having the highest specified death, it could be two factors, as maybe low testing. People are not going to check. Maybe they just feel symptoms, but they are not going to check themselves in hospitals. And maybe awareness is not being done properly, because it is when this particular virus has, when you don't test, when you don't go for checkup and it has stayed that long, it might actually devolve into something very fatal that can cause death. So you have to encourage awareness across the country, spread the awareness, educate people about the monkeypox, that whenever they see the symptoms like fever, the rashes, the outbreak, the muzzle ache, and the likes, that they should ensure they get tested. Come up with initiatives that would allow people to, go to the hospitals and do tests. So this is specific to countries that have high death rates, because once you discover this virus early, it's easy to actually manage it and to avoid death. In fact, the um, the thing about the death issue now is, once you don't track those new cases, once you don't track it, it allows it to spread. Imagine somebody that has had monkeypox for like 1 week, 2 weeks. You can imagine him or her like mingling with other people, and the person is not even aware that this case is transferable, right? And at the end of the day, the person dies. But within those 2 weeks or 1 month that the person has been going around with this, the person has been mingling with other people, and this would increase the spread, right? So we also have to watch out for this rate. And finally, conclusion for this particular project is,
My check, Paul.
yeah,
So, so before you conclude, I just want have a brief announcement. I want to tell you that you have just 4 more minutes, and
okay,
so as it stands, I do not have any question. But if you know that you have any question, please don't forget to send your question forward. And for all our participants, I've just sent the feedback form to the general platforms for us to fill. This is an ongoing thing. This series is an ongoing project, and so we need your feedback for us to be able to know our areas of improvement where we need to work on. So it's very important that we fill this feedback form. Thank you. So Paul, you have the floor, sir. 4 to
okay,
5 more minutes for you, sir.
all right. So to conclude, these are my conclusion, right? So countries, because this is does not just apply to one country, you can send this across and make it open source for like various disease control centers across the globe to have. So our recommendations to all of them is to increase awareness about the risk of contracting this monkeypox virus, educate people about preventive measures like washing their hands, sanitizing, right? Then restriction on animal trade, because we found out that this virus can be passed from animal to humans, right? So there should be restriction on animal trade and smuggling, right, across countries, increase checks across borders also. Then we should also, each country should also ensure testing and credible reporting. So they have to increase testing whenever people come with symptoms. There should be tests available, right? And also to make sure that these numbers are logged, because it's important for the numbers to be logged. Once the numbers are logged or the cases are actually reported, is it helps like it helps how will I put it? It helps the scientists working on treatments, vaccine. It helps policy governments to formulate policies, right, to be able to curtail the spread of this um, outbreak. Then set up isolation centers whenever you have a case, right? There should be isolation centers to be able to isolate people that have been affected. Then vaccine availability and distribution. There's a vaccine available, right? But according to WHO, they are saying that it's very likely, see, if you've gotten smallpox vaccines, it's very likely for your smallpox vaccine to be useful, like to help you against the monkeypox virus. And finally, travel history is very important. Like always log travel history of patients. So when you have a new case, confirm where the person has been or where the person is coming from, right? So that you can coordinate whether it's across the same country or across multiple countries. You can also alert their disease control centers that, okay, this person has monkeypox and this person is just coming from this country. Could you please check who the person has been in contact with so that you can isolate them and you can test and isolate, any further cases. So this is the end of the report. So this particular report is also published, right, on the Power BI service. And also you can set up the refresh. I believe we were taught refresh last week. Your scheduled refresh that okay, this report should refresh maybe 6 times in a day, 4 times in a day, so that your stakeholders get the accurate data. So this is an example of a world project. So for you, you might want to do something on hunger. You might want to do something to track uh, arms smuggling. Arms smuggling affects the whole world, right? Because when arms are smuggled, it escalates and becomes a conflict. We can see that in the issue of some countries in Africa, right, where you have small arms proliferation across, and it's evolves into conflicts, banditry, and terrorism. So, but like I said, you have to research about the problem, understand the domain, right? Because I had to go read about this monkeypox outbreak and how it spreads to be able to like give tailored recommendations and tailored solutions for this. So with this tracker, they can be able to track how severe it is and how the spread is going across the entire world. So that is the solution. That is my own version of solutions to my stakeholders, like I said. So I believe this is the end of our presentation today. So thank you very much. Let me know if you have any question.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul.
You're
Um,
welcome.
I don't know where to start appreciating this interesting topic. I mean, this is a complete project, a complete project. I mean, we started from looking at a real life project. I mean, a prevalent issue, not a dead issue, issues that are done, issues that are current. I mean, and how we can just navigate to how we can source this data. And we before we do all that, we need to understand what we want to see. Who are these who are these presentation, this project, who are these men, who are the stakeholders? I mean, there is a whole lot that we need to learn. Even me, I mean, this is all encompassing. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. I do
You're
not
welcome.
have any question here, but I think do you have any? The only thing I can ask, Mr. Paul, is that do you have any learning path for the purpose of people that want to? You have laid a foundation now with
Yes.
respect to this project. But do you have any learning paths? I mean, a part that our viewers or people that are in the classroom now can follow if they would need to build on what you've taught all of us today. Because I'm not saying you are teaching them. I'm equally a student because I mean I the difference is clear. So that is just the little I want to add, sir.
Oh, okay. So learning path, like specifically for this kind of projects, right?
Okay,
Um,
okay.
Basically, is a world problem. It's not just. It's not just. You're not dealing with a dummy data set, right? You are dealing with an actual issue that affects each and every one of us. So I think where you would want to, as a data analyst, let's say you're a beginner or you are well versed, you're a professional, one thing you have to do is also to consult, like I said, the domain knowledge. I think that is where that is the most important part you should focus on. That domain knowledge. Once you have it, it tells you because most times you are not even familiar with this particular thing. I wasn't familiar with, I didn't even know how bad the monkeypox case was or how was spreading until I had to go and look like, okay, what are the actual numbers? What is WHO saying about this particular thing? That's when I discovered that the Director General has already declared it an outbreak. So for some cases where you want to solve a world problem, go to their like their authorities. So if you want to deal with like um, you might check the UN if you're looking at world hunger. I think the UN has this food program, right? So they're an authority in that subject. You have to go and study, like, okay, this world hunger, who does it affect? What is the present situation around it? So I think that part and research, that is like you have your data analysis process is there by the side. That one is like mostly constant because definitely you source for your data, you clean your data, you analyze it, and you do your visualization, then make recommendations, right? That is there. But for projects like this, right, is the domain knowledge that is important, because at the end of the day, you'll be able to interpret whatever you've analyzed using those terminologies. So don't take it for granted. And if you don't know it, I think you can also partner. Like myself, I could also partner to get more insight from this data. I could partner with a researcher in this field, a disease researcher in this field. And in fact, we'll get more insights from this. So that is my advice to anyone doing this project. More research, collaborate. Yes, more research and do some collaborations also if you can.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I just, by virtue of where you are coming from now, so I think there are some things I picked from there. Understanding the domain knowledge and more research, research, and research. This is obviously all your slides and your analysis is very clear that 1 hour cannot do justice to such deliverables. It's very obvious. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
We will be looking forward to see more of this in the nearest future. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Mr. Paul. And
Yeah.
so so we have come to the end of today's session. For everybody that started with us, we can see that is a whole lot of work. So it's not all about knowing data visualization or doing ETL and saying, okay, I'm already a Power BI expert. No, it goes beyond that. As we can all see, even me too, I just have to still go back to drawing board and still learn, relearn, and unlearn some things. Because Mr. Paul has, you know, challenged me today that, bros, you are not started yet. And I'm very happy because for me, I'm always happy to learn because it is when you learn that you can improve. And funny enough, in a data analytics journey, what you know in the morning can become obsolete in the evening if you are not up to date. And that's
Yeah.
just the physics of the situation. So we really thank you, appreciate you. And so
You're welcome.
we'll be looking forward to see you more of this. And so to all our viewers, thank you for participating to this section. We have another section by 4:05. So we shall be shutting down so that other people can prepare for the next session. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, and let's
Thank
have an
you.
amazing
Thank you.
breaking time. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Paul.
Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.